Hey everyone, welcome to week 1 of the 6-week footwork challenge. Now, the great thing about footwork is that you don't actually need to be on the court to do it. You just need to find a patch outside, a bit of concrete, a bit of gravel, a bit of grass that imitates the size of a court, and you can really start improving your footwork now. So week 1's theme is front court footwork. So I'm going to take you through a few different types of front court footwork. Now, footwork is personal, but there is a technique as to how to do it. So there are certain ways you can move forward from the front court and certain ways you can move back from the front court, and that would depend on 1, your personal preference, and 2, it would depend on what kind of shot that you play from the front court. Secondly, the footwork for front court in an attacking position, so when you're taking it up early compared to a defensive position where you're taking it late and lower down, the footwork is very, very similar for both attack and defense. So we're going to try to practice both of them today. All right, so 15 to 20 minutes of this. So the first front court footwork we're going to be doing is stepping. And let me show you what I mean by stepping. You notice with that footwork, all you're doing is stepping forwards, whether it's right-handed or left-handed, making sure that you're lunging with your racket leg forward first. Okay, so that's the first way. You can just step forward into the front court. The second way you can move to the front court is if you do a skip. So that was the skipping. So instead of walking forward, you're actually doing a skip moving forwards. There's also 2 ways you can move backwards from the front court. There's one way where you do a bit of a hover, and then there's one way where you go all the way back to the middle, and it's kind of like a skip backwards, or a walk backwards if you like to walk instead of skipping. So the first way we're going to show you now is the hover. That was the hover. Now we're moving back, skipping or stepping backwards, so we end up more towards the base. So with the hover, you're kind of hovering more around the front court, but with the one where you go to the middle, you either do a bit of a skip backwards or a bit of a walk backwards, so that you end up right back in the middle. And this is often when you do a lift. So there's your front court footwork. You can do it in an attacking or defensive position, and you can mix up the variations of it. So you can either step forward or step or skip back. You can hover back. You can also skip forwards. So like I said, it's really important that you mix these up and you use them in different scenarios in the game, because the one that you choose will often depend on the shot that you actually play. So once you start practicing those different routines, then you can actually do it continuously, which I'm going to try to do, and hopefully you'll be able to get smooth at this. So I'm only going to do left-handed this time, and hopefully I'll get a bit smoother at the front court here. So there we go, front court footwork challenge for this week. Next week we'll move on to mid-court, but for this week, try to get on court or just somewhere to do your footwork, maybe 3 or 4 times, and you see how we go. Ask me any questions if you've got any, but make sure you do play around with those variations, because they're all going to be very useful for you. Make sure you share this with everyone that you know and anyone that would benefit from improving their footwork, and see you on the next video.